In today's video, we'll be teaching using the various work areas. This means we'll look at the ways that the teachers can set up their notebook so that when they deliver their lesson, they maximize the space that they are using, or they have access to the tools if they need them. The first work area we have in front of us has the toolbars around the side, and you'll notice that there are two gray stripes down the side. This is because my screen that I am designing on is a wide screen, and therefore for the entire page to fit onto it, it needs to stretch it quite far. It is customized to work for the 800 by 600 projector screen that we started with. So most screens are a little bit narrower, so you'll have thinner gray stripes, and when you project onto your projector, you probably won't even see those gray stripes. So let's have a look at a lesson. Here we have the lesson in front of us. Like I said, we have the toolbars accessible, so while delivering this lesson, I can still access my toolbars on the top should I need them, pull out a pen, a shape, and carry on and deliver my teaching along the side. I can also go across to my toolbars on the side and I can deliver that way. With our students these days, they've probably looked at the slides on the side and seen what's coming next. We are able to hide that. If you look at the bottom left, you'll see there's an auto hide button. If I tick that, you'll notice that the image got slightly bigger, but nothing happens. When I click on my page here, you will see that toolbar 3 on the side disappeared. The tabs are still there, but that has disappeared. That allows me to teach with just toolbar 2. Therefore, I can access my page sorter or the gallery tab just by clicking on those tabs, and as soon as I click back on the work area, that disappears. The next area that we're going to look at involves the full screen, and we can access our full screen by clicking on the View Screens button. This gives us a number of options. Today we're going to look at full screen, dual page display, discuss the percentages, and look at entire page and page width briefly. So if I was to click on full screen, straight away you see my toolbars disappear and my entire screen is taken up with my lesson. Again, because of the width of my screen, I have a big gray area there. Depending on your screen, you probably won't have a gray area or have a thinner area. When I go into full screen mode, you'll see I get a floating toolbar. This floating toolbar allows me to still control my screen so that I can go backwards and forwards or exit full screen. Should I need any of my other tools from toolbar 2, I can just click on those 3 dots and there you'll see that I have my pens, my crayons, my highlighters, my shapes, my screen shades if I needed them, so that I can go in and still use them. An advantage of using this is you get maximum space on your board. You can write all over the board, you can fill the board. The disadvantage is you don't have access to those tools, you're not sure what's coming next. If you like to walk from side to side of the board, you've got to have this floating toolbar in the middle so that you can access previous or next page. You can also use it if you're very strong with your smartboard. If you're confident in the pen tray and you don't need any other tools, you know your lesson because you prepared it well, this is a great way to teach it. Let's exit the full screen mode. Another mode that we can use is called the dual page display. And like it says, that means 2 pages next to each other. So I have 2 pages next to each other here. You'll notice that they've got smaller, but they're next to each other. The most important part to remember here is if you're going to present in dual mode, you need to create in dual mode. And this works well for differentiated work. It means that you can keep up your answers or your previous question or previous page up a little longer so that the children that struggle a bit or don't copy that quickly or are still working on it still have a chance to do it. But there are a number of other reasons we use the dual page, and if you go and look at our dual page video, you'll see some examples on how to use it properly there. But I'm going to go to the next page and show you the example that I have here. So I have the geometry of straight lines and triangles, and we have all the examples there, and we could work through them and keep those examples up. And on the right hand page, I then have some questions that we could work through, and we could refer back to the original page where all the answers are so that we could get answers for that. And if I'd like to go back to a single page, I go back to my view screens and put it back on single page. Like I said, there are a number of examples that you can use this for. Great is to have the theorem or the rule or the words you're going to be using in that context all on one page, and then you can bring the other pages next to it and you can see and use them together. Another one is to have a number of pictures and different environments on the other page, and you can drag the pictures into the correct environment from the one page. The next one I want to look at is the entire page or page width. Now right now you can see I have the entire page in front of me. It's a lot smaller, so children at the back might struggle to see that. And we use the entire page when we want to show a complete solution or a picture or a graph or a starting point from A to B in its entirety. If I were to click on page width, have a look what happens. It zooms right in and makes the whole page the width. And then I can use the scroll bar to move up and down. But it makes it a lot clearer for me to use. Okay, so if I want to go back and click on entire page, we can do that. In our customizing of Toolbar 2, we can actually have that shortcut icon put in so that we don't have to go view screens and then click it. We can click on it straight away. That you can find out in our video on page width and entire page. The last bit I want to cover here is the percentages. So all this does is literally what it says. Shows 50% of it, so it makes it smaller, or it shows up to 300%. And we can move across and we can then go look, and the pictures are larger. This benefits us when we're using small graphs or pictures that we've brought in that are quite small. We can kind of zoom in on that and make it a little bit clearer. If we're using our protractor over angles and we want to see what it is, we can either use a zoom function or we can actually zoom in on the whole screen. And then we can go back out to 100%. Thank you for watching this video brought to you by the TTA.